What a beautiful thing when you encounter somebody who doesn't ask for the moon in the sky. You know that that somebody needs every little help he can get, but he asks only for the essentials. He knows what to ask for. A big difference from James and John of last week. They were asking to be seated one on the right and one on the left. Ambition and greed. There was no acknowledgement first and foremost about who the Lord was. But this man who was not on the way but beside the road. And there is a big difference between being on the way. If you're on the road, then you are part of the mainstream. You're part of those who belong. You are someone who is somebody. You have connections. You have friends. You are on the road towards some place. But if you are on the roadside, you are a nobody. Nasa laylayan ka. Nasa tagiliran ka. Wala kang karapatan, wala kang sinasabi, wala kang anumang ipagyayabang. Pero si Bartimaeus is the only one who was named in all four Gospels who was healed by the Lord. All the rest wasn't named, and he deserves it. He deserves it because he knew who he was asking a favor from. Jesus, Son of David, have pity on me. I don't know what you make of it, but this is focus. Jesus, Son of David. This is the number one. This is the top priority. I call on Jesus, Son of David, and then secondarily, have pity on me. Oh my God, what a good prayer. What a prayer of a humble man. What a prayer of one who knew he was sa laylayan, nasa bottom of the heap. Yung mga, the pandemic is anti-poor, you know that. Because if you are rich, you have remdesivir, you have, I can't even remember the names of those medicines that cost about 37,000 a pop. How can the poor afford them? That is why, even if I don't like conspiracy theories, I wonder whether this virus was manufactured and it attacks the poorest among us. Yung mga nasa tabi ng daan, yung mga walang kapangyarihan, yung mga walang kilala, yung walang sir, ma'am na tinatawag sa political landscape, yung walang brad, sis sa kanilang covenanted community, yung mga nagsisimbang nandun sa likod na ayaw pumasok sapagkat nahihiya sila. And this Bartimaeus, at 2 beses pang inulit, pinakilala pa ni Marco, Bartimaeus, a blind man, the son of Timaeus. I'm almost offended because Bartimaeus means the son of Timaeus. That's what it means. But Mark had it in his heart to introduce somebody who was nobody because he knew what to say. He knew the person he was begging a favor from. Jesus, Son of David, have pity on me. And of course, marami pa rin naiinggit. Sa mundong ibabaw, maraming mga inggitero at inggitere. I was talking about this last week. Pag pumasok ang envy, ambition, yung inggit na yan, especially and including the church, when the machinery of envy begins to churn, the most vicious are the clergy and the religious. When the machinery of envy begins to churn, the most vicious are those who wear uniforms every Sunday, those who belong to groups that are high profile. And in many parishes, certain groups have their own meeting rooms, and they prevail upon their parish priest to have that meeting room only for themselves. Kahit na 99.9% of the time, it's not being used. But when they come with self-entitlement. Open our room for our group, for our prayer group or whatever. This man knew his place. He was not on the road, he was beside the road. But he knew his onions, and he knew his God. And he said, Jesus, son of David. And what was his plea? Have pity on me. I don't have a shopping list. I don't have an SM to-do list. Because SM, you've got it all for you. No, the Lord hasn't got it all. But He has what this man needs. Have pity on me. And so many of those who were envious rebuked him, telling him to be silent. But this time I have to give credit to the disciples. Why? Because the disciples for this time did something good and went to the blind man saying to him, take courage, get up. The Lord is calling you. Jesus is calling you. And this is the clincher. He threw aside his cloak. The cloak is the sign of dignity of any self-respecting Jew. If you throw aside your cloak, you have only your underwear. That is the one that remains. The seamless garment that the Gospels were talking about when the Lord was crucified. Throwing aside his cloak, what does that mean? Throw away everything. I have the best. I have the best coming my way. And therefore he threw away what? The symbol of his old self. The symbol of the old man. The symbol of the one who was known to be just a blind man. But this time he was given a name. Bartimaeus, the son of Timaeus. And he jumped up, threw aside his cloak, sprang up, and came to Jesus. And the Lord asked the very same question that He asked last week. Oh Jaime, Santiago at Juan, ano ba gusto niyong gawin ko sa inyo? What do you want me to do for you? And James and John said, please, one of us sit at your right and the other at your left. Kayo na po bahala. Pero right and left. And there is no third place. There is no one in front, no one behind, right and left. The topmost positions next to the position of the Messiah. What do you want me to do for you? And the blind man who was blind had a 20/20 vision. He knew what to ask for. He knew what he needed. And he asked only for what he needed, hindi shopping list. I told you the story, I don't know, in one of my masses on weekdays. There are people who try to look for me in Facebook and ask for help. I don't know who they are. They can be from Iloilo, they can be from Bataan, they could be from Mindanao. And I have been fooled not once, not twice, not thrice. And there was a young man who even pretended to have killed himself because I did not go on giving what he wanted, his shopping list. But there was this woman who kept on sending me private messages and said, please help me, Father. I'm a public school teacher, a school teacher. In the pandemic, I was laid off. And I have a daughter who is taking up architecture. And she got by using a cheap tablet, but now in architecture she needs a full-blown laptop for CAD, computer-assisted whatever, design or whatever. And so I answered her, please find out where you can get a cheap laptop and then tell me. And then she answered to me after a week, Father, no need because I got my job back. How honest. How honest. She had no shopping list. She didn't ask me for a laptop and a cell phone. She just asked for her daughter a second-hand laptop. And when she got back her job, she honestly said, wag na po, Father. I got back my job. This is Bartimaeus. Ano ang sabi niya? What do you want me to do for you? Master, Rabboni. The original is Rabboni. Rabboni, that I might see. What he needed was what he wanted. And what he wanted was what he prayed for. And the blind man, Jesus told to the blind man, go your way, your faith has saved you. No longer on the wayside. Go your way. You've been rehabilitated. You are part of the glorious liberty of the children of God. You are now a follower who follows me on the way. Christianity is that, following Jesus on the way. Many times, we could feel and be self-entitled to be on the road, but we are really out of whack. We are really focused on so many other things. The Lord is going this way, but we go all other different ways. And we continue to wear our best tunics. We never give it up. We never give up our alaskin clothing, our shiny whatever shirts, and our mga alahas, and whatever we don't throw away because we want to have an alternative way apart and in addition to the way, the only way that leads to everlasting life. Take courage, my dear brothers and sisters. We are all really blind at some point or other in our lives. We are blind when we are envious, because envy is just seeing one thing and not seeing everything else. You see only what the others have. Your neighbor has a new car and you want a better one. According to postmodern sociologists, people now don't want anything new. What they want is something different, not something new. Something different means it is a limited edition. So when the Chinese produced that golden expensive cars na ang nakakabili lamang ay yung mga taga-Farmali, yung mga 65 million ang halaga. At yung Bombay na kayang-kayang magbigay ng 35 million car sa kanyang kapatid na babae. And connected again with this, making money out of the poor. Connected to this pandemic or plandemic as the case may be. We want everything. Yes, we also want the Lord during recollections. We also want the Lord on Sundays. But all other days, we have the way all open for us. And we have alternative ways. This man knew what he wanted, asked for what he needed, nothing more, nothing less, and he got a reward that is out of this world. Go your way, as your faith has saved you. Your faith has saved you. What more does he need? No more. Immediately, he received his sight and followed him on the way, tunicless, honorless, positionless, walang titulo, walang mga letra sa pangalan, walang anumang pamagat sa social media. Bartimaeus, the son of Timaeus, otherwise known as the blind man. But he was a nobody who was really at bottom as somebody in the eyes of God.